The new law controlling interest rates may eventually be counterproductive if the experiences of other countries are anything to go by. This is according to the IMF's director of the African Department, Abebe Selassie. I spoke to him yesterday, and I also asked him whether it was prudent for African countries to go into the international markets for debt.
We've looked at instances in other countries which have taken the same measure, caps on lending rates, and in general, the experience has been very poor. What they have tended to do is restrict the banks' readiness to lend exactly to the kind of borrowers that we're concerned about, small and medium-scale enterprises. So countries like Zambia, Bolivia, that have introduced interest rate caps, have seen basically lending to SMEs declining in the aftermath of such borrowings. We think it's a blunt tool to try and address the challenge of high interest rates. I think ideally you want to foster as much competition as you want in the financial sector to try and make sure that access to financing remains competitive for small and medium-scale enterprises. We also have some concerns about the impact it can have on the monetary transmission mechanism. So it's not the first best policy tool by any means. Some level of, these kind of benchmark bond issuances, when yields were low, made sense. But of course, you cannot be relying on that as the main source of financing for development spending, given how costly it is. So it should always be the last option. Such high borrowing sources. In the first instance, of course, you want to do as much internal financing as you can, looking at whether you're spending your resources appropriately, see if you can re-optimize and get resources there. If you can't, revenue mobilization, of course, is the other one. And then concessional forms of financing. And if all of those are exhausted, do you want to go and make recourse to non-concessional borrowings like Eurobonds? At the moment, yields have started to, borrowing costs facing many African countries have gone up markedly. So, it's a decision that has to be made by each country, kind of depending on how pressing the financing challenge is.